Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Between the Covers podcast, where we are working every day to remove the self-limiting beliefs that are preventing us from becoming the heroes of our own stories. I am Marcus Spar, and after the downer of the episode that we had last week, we have Odin in full view of the camera today, and I want to talk about hope. Before we get into today's topic, I do want to remind you, if you are enjoying this podcast, then please subscribe and like this video and leave a comment. With everything that has been going on lately, I feel it is more important than ever to be hopeful, to look to the future with hope instead of dread. So let's talk about hope. There are some things that I have been working through during this week that have been very helpful to my mental health and to the mental health of my very close friends and family. One of the things that is standing out to me, this is something that Libby had actually shared, and that is, it is not bad for me to have hoped. It's not bad for any of us to have hoped. Those of us who put our hopes in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and found ourselves on Election Day feeling very hopeless. It wasn't bad that we had that hope. In fact, one of the things that I will tell my clients is, without hope, we oftentimes do not have a drive toward our future. In fact, when we are hopeless, that is often when we start to entertain more of the darker thoughts of ending our existence, or of giving into some maladaptive coping mechanisms. Those often come when we are feeling hopeless. So, without hope, even if things do not turn out the way that we hope they will, it is important for us to have that hope. It is a driving force in our lives, in what we pursue, in what we do. And so that means, for me, I had my time of grieving, and I'm still grieving. I'm still exhausted from everything that has been taking place since the election, coming into the holiday season and everything at the time of this recording. I am finding it so important right now for me to not just give up on my hopes and on my dreams. I am finding it very important for me to still have something to look forward to, something to work toward. And right now, that is still hoping that the United States doesn't become a theocracy, that our democracy, this wild experiment that we find ourselves in, will continue forward, that we will continue to have dialogue, that we will continue to talk back and forth across the aisles, that we will listen and not talk over, not demean, not attack. I need to have hope that there is inherently good in every person, whether they share the same political views that I do or not. I need to hope that, as Kamala Harris said on a podcast with Brene Brown, that there is more that unites us than separates us. I need to hope that we are going to get through any kind of power transitions, and that it will be done without violence, that it will be done with grace, and an honor for the rules and the regulations that have been governing this nation for years, for generations now. Earlier today, I had a really good brunch with my friend Brandon. And in fact, it is my hope and my desire to have all of my friends be interviewed for this podcast. I have asked all of them. They have all said, yeah, that sounds great, but Marcus needs to do some preparation here and actually come up with some questions to ask them. So that's one of the things I'm working on. I would love to have you meet these people that have been very influential in my life. But while talking with Brandon, I was able to express some of my concerns, and he held space for me to say, that does sound very scary, and I just want to say that we're here in this together, and we still have things that can prevent some of these dire situations that I am hearing and even researching myself. While talking with Brandon about all sorts of topics, not just politics, I was able to find hope. I was able to be reminded that things aren't all gloom and doom here. I was giving into my feelings a little too much. I was giving into my despair. And that's going to happen with these kind of experiences. It's okay. It's okay to despair. It's okay to grieve. That is just a part of what this whole process is all about. However, at some point, for me, the despair needed to stop. Not because it's bad. Not because I couldn't handle it or anything like that. Because I need to move on. Because I need to remind myself of the good in my community, in my relationships, in the world around me, even when things aren't going exactly the way that I would have hoped or desired. We all need to have something to look forward to. We all need to have something for us to hope for. Now, this is one of those tricky things because I heard this story from someone who was a Holocaust survivor. And I wish I could remember who this was. I wish I could remember where I heard it. But I know it came from one of the many podcasts that I listen to. But they were talking about this experience with the Holocaust. And what ended up happening is the people who did not accept their fate in what they were experiencing, the ones who maintained hope that it wasn't going to get worse, that things were going to get better, and that something would happen to liberate them or free them, these were the people who didn't make it to the end of World War II. These were the people who were not rescued from the concentration camps. These were people who, I guess, didn't really keep their eyes on reality in order to maybe have appropriate hope, if that makes any sense. I'm just kind of spitballing here. So if there's anything that I'm saying that just doesn't resonate with you, I would encourage you to leave some comments or send me a message or something like that. I am still recovering from my grief and from the numbness that I experienced earlier this week. So I might not exactly have the right mindset to be expressing myself properly. In the end, though, this individual who survived the Holocaust, who was rescued from a concentration camp. One of the things that this survivor experienced, what he witnessed, was the individuals who held on to their hope the longest were the ones who didn't make it to the end. I guess to a certain degree, I'm not entirely certain what I'm trying to say here. I guess for me, it's important to have hope, and it's also important for it not to be blind hope. I want to have something to look forward to, and yet I also want to acknowledge where I'm at and what I need to do right now for the kind of work that's ahead for me. And so I'm just going to ask just a very pointed question here, and that is, what do you hope for? What inspires you and helps you get up in the morning? What helps you go through the normal day-to-day, the usual, maybe even mundane, but the routine? What gets you up? What inspires you to do something different, to pursue something better? One of the things that helps me get up in the morning these days is knowing that if I just sit on my hands and just say, well, this is it, nowhere else to go from here, that's the kind of complacency that helps individuals take advantage of others. I still need to do my part. I still need to help the people that I can. I still need to become the hero in my story. I need to stand up to the antagonists, or even just ignore them. I had someone on Facebook say that these things that I was afraid of was absolutely stupid and I was being lied to. Not exactly the most favorable response when I have a complete stranger online pretty much call me ignorant, call me stupid, and the people that I have come to trust who talk with experts and who look into things a lot deeper than I am able to, calling them stupid and calling them liars. That's not the kind of person that I'm even going to engage with. And you don't have to. You don't have to engage with these people. In fact, I would even say don't engage with these people in an online forum that only uses text. The number of people who have been swayed to a side because of what someone else shared on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on a blog, MySpace, wherever it is. The number of people that have been swayed to another position, I would wager, is very close to the range of 0. So when I have individuals who I am expressing legitimate fears and concerns and they're telling me I'm being lied to and pretty much calling me an idiot, no. I'm not going to give them the time of day. Because for one thing, that's not something that's going to inspire hope. That actually feeds into the despair. One of the things that helps me to get up in the morning is also having people that I know rely on me and still need me to be there. Odin still needs me. And in fact, I had such joy just 20 minutes ago coming home after having brunch, I've been away for 2 hours or so. Brandon and I had a lot that we talked about. And when I come home, I have a dog that is just so happy to see me. He wants to lick my hands. He wants to lick my face. He wants me to pet him. He's so excited. He's kind of getting little tippy-tappy legs. He's just an insatiable source of love that I can't help but just be in awe of the innocence. And I still need to be there for him. I still need to be there for Libby. I have had some friends who are wrestling with what's going on even worse than I am. I can be there for them too. I can help them through this time. That's something that gives me hope. It gives me hope that there are things that I can do. There are ways that I can help. There are ways that I can support. There are ways I can continue to help others overcome the limiting beliefs that are holding them back in order for them to be the heroes in their stories. One of the things that helps me get up in the morning is I have hope that my friends will be there for me. I was able to reach out to many of them and I heard back. I meet with them and we're giving each other harder embraces, longer embraces, just this tangible and physical way of saying, I'm right here with you. I'm holding you. I support you while you hold and support me. I ask again, what do you hope for? What helps you to get up in the morning? And if you don't have anything to hope in, then maybe that's something that you really need to find right now. Maybe what is necessary is for you to find something that you can hold on to that can give you hope, that can give you assurance, that can tell you that whatever happens, I'm not alone. I'll get through this. We'll get through this. We'll figure this out. Because if we don't have anything to hope in, then really all that's left is our despair. All that is left is our fear. It's so helpful for us to have something to look forward to, even if it's just getting through the workday so that I can spend some time doing some things that I enjoy. Maybe it's having someone that we can hold and who can hold us. Maybe it's going and doing some window shopping. Maybe it's just giving yourself a temporary reprieve from doom scrolling, from hearing all sorts of awful news, things of that nature. Find something to hope in. It's why one of the things that I am so grateful for is this podcast I listen to called Straight White American Jesus. This has actually been a place where I have heard a lot of the experts that have helped me to get a much better understanding of this political landscape that I find myself in and what's going on behind the scenes, what's being said from all of these different outlets that I just don't have the time. And one of the things that the two hosts do, especially on their weekly roundup that happens on Fridays, is they always have a reason for hope. They talk about what it is that is helping to give them hope for the future. And I want to borrow from that. I want to borrow from Straight White American Jesus, from Brad Onishi and Dan Miller, and say that we have reasons to be hopeful. And for me, a reason to hope is that I'm not alone. I'm really not. I have so many people who are close to me, who support me, who understand where I am. In fact, my friend Brandon said he has strong ears because I just talked his ears off with a lot of stuff that's been going on. It'd been like a month since we got together. Well, just the two of us for brunch, I should say. And we were both very much looking forward to it. And as we were leaving, I said, thank you so much just for letting me talk your ears off. And he's like, hey, that's what I'm here for. He goes, I've got strong ears, I can handle it. My reason for hope is I have some very good people in my life who understand what's going on, who know about my fears and are not discrediting them. They are giving me reasons to hope. They're helping me to see things from other perspectives. I encourage you, find something to hope in. Find something to hope for. And I encourage you also to remember that you're not alone. In this world that is more connected than it's ever been, you are not alone. There are so many people out there who understand what you're going through. There are so many people who are experiencing similar things to what you are experiencing. They have similar life experiences and stories that mirror your own. It might be challenging because they're not there with you in person, but they're out there. If I was able to find them as an anxiety-ridden, agnostic ex-Christian, you can find them too. Just takes a little searching, takes a little listening. I hope that you found this inspiring, and I promise that conversations will move more away from politics and everything, and we will go back to maybe even some more of the lighthearted conversations. However, as I have said, I want this space to be a space where we can talk about anything. And this is something that is very important. It's very prominent in our zeitgeist. Hopefully you found some hope in this conversation. And if you are wanting some extra hope, I'm happy to have that conversation. There are ways to get in touch with me in the show notes. I am here with you. You're not alone. And until next time, live strong for today.